Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Buckle up. Get ready for takeoff. Today, we're flying into the territory of Idiocracy and Wall-E. That's our destination today. We're going to talk about these two movies. It's kind of a movie review, and it kind of isn't. We're going to start with Idiocracy. I don't have a copy of it. I'm going to get a hard copy edition of it, just so I can have it, because I love physical media. I love being able to feel it, touch it, always own it, have access to it all the time. So let's first start with Idiocracy. Those two movies are related, by the way. Where I'm going to talk about how they're related, how similar they are. The first one, like I said, is Idiocracy. And you've heard it said that Idiocracy is a documentary. Is it? So, in the movie, you have this guy and this woman. They go into cryogenic freeze for 500 years. And they wake up 500 years later and everything has fallen apart. Now, this movie is produced by Mike Judge. He's the creator of Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill. I love King of the Hill. Never cared much for Beavis and Butthead, but I love King of the Hill. And I love Office Space. You've got to see Office Space. He created that movie too. Think how accurate that movie is. There's all kinds of YouTube videos on that movie. I may critique that later. But it's hard to critique it if you haven't really lived exactly that life. But what I'll do is I'll find someone who has lived that life, and then we'll critique it from what he's told me. But anyway, Idiocracy starts out whereas these yuppies, the upper class, are deciding not to have children. That's what we got going on today. Think about it. We're having a low birth rate. People are putting off getting married. They're putting off having children. And so they have decided that they're just not going to have kids. They're going to put it off and put it off. Well, that's happening today. And in the movie, the smart people, the upper class, weren't having children, and all the poor people were just breeding. They were just having children. Kind of like today. The welfare queens are popping out kids for more welfare money, more food stamps. Think about it. What would happen if in a demographic shift when the upper echelons, their population keeps going down and the other population keeps going up? What's going to happen? Think about that. That movie is so accurate, though. That's what's happening today. And in the last video I put up, I was talking about the labor shortage, right? As far as skilled labor. Well, think about how true that is. If your car breaks down, it could be weeks for a technician to fix your car, depending on your make and model. Cars today are complicated. They're not simple like my old Jeep Cherokee. And good luck getting anything fixed, because first you got to find someone with a skill set to do what you need to do. There is a skill set. We need construction workers. Micro talks about this all the time. So in the movie Idiocracy, you don't have enough skilled people. You don't have enough people that know how to fix anything. I actually met a grown man who didn't even know how to change a light bulb. True story. Yeah, absolutely. So the movie goes on, and so nobody can fix anything. Nobody knows how to do shit, right? So what happens when you have a society of uneducated, unskilled workers that can't fix their own vehicles, that can't fix their restaurant equipment, that we just don't know how to repair anything? Our products today are made to be disposable. They're not made to be repaired. Disposable refrigerators, disposable stoves, disposable dishwashers. You know, everything's made to be disposable. We have instant access to movies instead of having it in your hand. So eventually, this guy wakes up 500 years later, and he's in this society that is piled up full of trash and garbage, and the corporations have taken over, and this Gatorade type company owns everything, by the way. And the people are living on this Gatorade. I call it's not Gatorade, but it's Gatorade type. And the president is President Camacho. Now, I noticed something right away during the elections. Kamala. What if Kamala had gotten elected? And then at the Republican National Convention, because President Camacho has a name that sounds like Kamala, but he speaks like Hulk Hogan. At the RNC, Hulk Hogan came and spoke. What you doing, brother? What you gonna do? It's true. You can't make this shit up. I got it right away. Hulk Hogan's at the RNC. He's speaking like the president of this world. And then in the story, I guess the guy decided, well, you can't feed your people with Gatorade. You can't use Gatorade to water your plants. You got to use water. Eventually, he won out, and he ended up becoming their president, replacing President Camacho. I think he ended up being the president, or at least the leader of some group, agency they created to restore the crops, and then they had him go through these games, kind of like the Roman Colosseum, and they just did things in this movie that were pretty extreme, that we got TikTokers who do similar stuff just for clicks and views. And so that's the premise of the movie. The movie's full of garbage, piled everywhere. Nobody knows how to fix anything. The upper class stopped having babies, and the lower class kept having them. All the welfare queens and just kept multiplying. Eventually, the world rotted from within. Now let's talk about WALL-E. Very similar story in a way. You have a world that's full of trash, just like Idiocracy. Trash is piled everywhere. There's a few differences, though. They say we're living in Idiocracy. I say we're in Idiocracy heading for WALL-E. Have you been to the supermarket lately? Have you been to Walmart? Watching people ride around on scooters? That was not a thing when I was a kid. As a young adult, that was not a thing until the last, I'd say, 10 to 15 years that started to become a thing. Now it's very much so. Go back to your childhood. I'll be 58 in April. So that was not a thing. But in the movie WALL-E, they took it a step further. Because this world is full of trash. Nobody knows how to do anything. Everybody's addicted to social media. Everybody's on their phones. Everybody just gets instant access to whatever they need. The corporation provides everything for these people. And the earth got so polluted they had to get on board a spaceship, a space cruiser, and live on board that space cruise. And the computer took care of them, fed them, gave them all they needed. Now everybody was riding around on scooters, morbidly obese, sipping their shakes, watching their phones. No interaction. They didn't even speak to each other. Think what's happening today. Everyone's hooked on their phones. Everyone's on social media. You get instant access. You don't even have to go to McDonald's to get your quarter pounder. Have it delivered to you. Right there. I need a quarter pounder. Knock, knock, knock. I got your McDonald's order. Think about that, folks. This is the movie WALL-E. That's where we're headed. From Idiocracy to WALL-E. And that's my belief. Just go to your grocery store like Walmart and take a look around. Tell me what you see. Because what you're seeing did not exist back in the 80s, 70s, mid-90s, and didn't start happening till the early 2000s. That's when it started. Maybe it's the late 90s. During the grunge movement. I don't know. But something's changed in this country. Something has really changed. And nobody knows how to do anything. Yeah, that's going to get worse. Getting your car fixed could be weeks. I'm an Uber driver. I don't have weeks. I'm sorry. We don't have enough technicians. My grandmother's sick, and she needs a doctor. We don't have enough doctors. We don't have enough nurses. Now, I don't know how bad it is in the medical field, but I do know the blue-collar industry is really bad. Fixing and repairing anything. Good luck. I'm serious. It's like, so in the movie WALL-E, you got this robot. Does he remind you of a robot from the 80s? What was the name of that robot? Comment below. Number 5 is alive. That's what I remember. Was he just called Number 5? What was the name of that movie? Oh, I can't think of it right now. That's who he looks like. It's who he reminds me of. That robot from the 80s with Steve Guttenberg. Comment below. What was the name of that movie? I'm having a senior moment. Short Circuit. That's it. Short Circuit. That was the name. Number 5 is alive. That's what this reminds me of. Someone may have been inspired by Short Circuit because he kind of does. And so this robot meets a female robot and he shows her this plant and she just goes berserk. Oh my God, a plant. She takes it on board the mothership. And the AI program, here's another thing that WALL-E, I need to mention this by the way, that when this little robot here, she takes the plant back to the mothership and shows it to the AI program that's running the ship, that's running the show. The AI program wants to continue running the show. It doesn't want to return to Earth. So it hides the truth. The humans have put all their faith and trust in AI to take care of them, of their every need. That's another prediction this movie has made. Yeah, I think we're idiocracy heading for WALL-E. I want you to think about that. The AI program was running the ship. Finally, the humans had to take control back from the AI. It was not an easy task. And return to Earth and learn how to do things again and learn to talk to each other. One-to-one, face-to-face. We don't do that anymore either. Humans are so disconnected. There's a loneliness epidemic right now. And we're just not communicating. I'm alone right now in my home. The only way I can communicate is through this. What I'm doing right now. This is my 3rd video today. So I got to think of 3 more videos to shoot on Friday. So I've already got one idea brewing in my head. I'm going to do a movie review on probably The Adjustment Bureau. Yeah. Because we're dealing with the series of The Matrix. So I'm going to do a review of The Adjustment Bureau. That'll be the first movie review. I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to write down some notes. I can't play any clips because of the copyright thing. You know, if I play a clip, I'll have to turn the volume off and just describe what's happening and critique it. That's the way I'm going to do it. No, I don't edit my videos much. I'm going to learn some editing hopefully soon and be able to edit a little more. The problem is it's very, very time consuming. I made a little 1-minute video. Took an hour for 1 minute of editing. to insert all the photos and add the soundtrack. I had this family photo album, right? It's on my channel. And I'm going through a photo album. That took an hour. That's not including the template. That was a template that I already have had it for over a decade. That's a really old template. So it still put inserting all the photos, adding the soundtrack. Yeah. So like I said, skill sets. Mike Rowe, I look him up. Look up the labor shortage. We don't have enough skilled workers to fix your car. If anything breaks down, your refrigerator breaks down, you just have to go buy another one. That's the world we live in, disposable appliances. Now they have all these smart appliances. I don't want a smart. I have an old refrigerator here. It does the job just fine. Got an old stove, nothing smart about it. There's nothing smart in my house except my iPhone and my iPad here. That's it. This is not a smart TV. That's an old Sony. But it works just fine. That's not a smart TV. It is not. Just let you know. I love that old Sony. I think it's got a better picture than the TVs today. It'll outlast the TVs you buy today. Yeah. But we are idiocracy heading for Wall-E. Look at AI today. We're putting all our faith and trust in AI more and more and more. We humans seem to choose the path of least resistance. It's true. Yeah, but you could go out and go for a walk. You could do things the hard way, but I love my physical media. I love my old TV. And I need to get back in shape. Yeah, I've kind of let it go during the winter, but I'll get back in shape. That video I put up was 3 years ago, and I look, man, I look really buffed. I look really great. Look at my shoulders. I look at that guy. It's like, that was 3 years ago, and yeah. But like I said, we are just heading. We need to take the world back from AI. Don't get so addicted to artificial intelligence. And that's what's wrong with society. Look at Michael Knight and KITT. Remember KITT, Knight Rider? Knight Rider. See? Remember that show, Knight Rider? What a show that was. I've got another KITT car. If I touch the hood, it speaks. Come on. Well, it used to. There it goes.
Microprocessor, KITT for easy reference, KITT if you prefer.
Isn't that cool? Michael Knight, you see, our cars could become like KITT. Think about it. And you just get in it and it drives itself. You don't even have to drive or parallel park. You don't have to learn how to do any of that. It does it all for you. It'll do anything. It'll have Google Map. It'll have KITT had Google Map back in the 80s. He sure did. He had a virtual where Michael could talk to Devin on a TV screen, a monitor, FaceTime. KITT was able to do things our cars today can do. Our cars can do everything KITT does, even be bulletproof. Well, supposedly. It can do everything except turbo boost. Our cars can't do turbo boost. But do you think KITT is AI, and we're just heading in that direction? Humans choose the path of least resistance. We used to work. We used to produce things. We don't produce. We don't think for ourselves anymore. Well, they call it doom scrolling. That's already happening. We don't talk to each other. We don't have rational thought. Everybody's in their tribe. You're either on the red team, blue team, or the middle ground. I'm not on the blue team. I'm not on the red team. But people, they don't get their facts on anything. They doom scroll on TikTok or Facebook. They only read the headline. They don't read the story. Most of them are fake. I call fake book because it's fake. Whoops. I'm just saying. It's totally fake. People believe anything they're being told. They don't think for themselves. They don't investigate anything. They don't pick up a physical book and read it. They don't. I love my physical books. You know? Or how about a history book? I love the Second World War. World War II. Nobody picks up a physical book and actually reads it. And that's so sad, isn't it? They doom scroll for hours a day, play video games. They don't think. They don't get exercise. They don't communicate with one another. We're just avatars on the screen. Guys aren't interested in real girlfriends anymore. They'd rather have an avatar. That's the world we live in. Are we heading for WALL-E? Absolutely we are. People say we're living in idiocracy. That may be. But this is where we're headed. Idiocracy heading for WALL-E. That's not a joke. Don't believe me? Go to Walmart. Go to your local grocery store. See if you don't see a good number of people on scooters. My dad has a scooter when he goes to Walmart. But I love my dad. But that was not a thing. People didn't ride around on scooters. I understand people are handicapped, but they were handicapped back then. They still walked. They still got around. That was not a thing back in the 20th century. That is a fact. Something's happening. I don't know how to explain it. Well, that's our video today, and that's my critique on idiocracy heading for WALL-E. What do you think? Comment below. Are we headed that way? Nobody knows how to do anything. There's a housing shortage because we don't have enough blue-collar workers to build the houses. We don't have enough plumbers. We don't have enough electricians. We don't have enough welders. Your refrigerator breaks down. Who's going to fix it? Your walk-in cooler. You own a restaurant. You have a food truck. You got to keep your foods refrigerated, right? Whether it's a walk-in cooler at your house, but if you fill up your food truck, yeah. You probably got a walk-in cooler in your home. If you have a food truck, you've got a walk-in, not on the truck necessarily, but at your house. You've got a walk-in cooler in your home. I know a couple of people that have a couple of food trucks, and they do have walk-in coolers at their house. And they load their trucks before they go out. So yeah, if your walk-in breaks down, you're out of business because they tell you it's 6 weeks to send a technician out, let alone trying to get a part that you need. Oh, there's another thing. Oh, we got to order a special part. I got to be careful. This thing is moving a little bit. But yeah, and that's our video for today. Comment below. Are we idiocracy heading for WALL-E? What do you think? Because I think we're heading in that direction. I really do. I'm just giving you food for thought. I did critique idiocracy a little bit, critiqued WALL-E a little bit. A different take. I'm going to do what the Adjustment Bureau will be the next video. I'm going to have some thoughts about that movie. But yeah, good movie. Check it out. Watch it. WALL-E and Idiocracy. They're very similar. The fact the world is full of trash, nobody knows how to fix anything. That's where they are similar. Different in other ways. These people in this movie are addicted to their phones. Just saying. Well, it's hard to say au revoir. So, au gratin. You know what I'm getting ready to do, right? It's hard to say au revoir, so au gratin. I'm getting ready to push the button. Oh no!